Hello and welcome back to Pandemic Playground with Dave. So today we're going to continue our surviving Pertam, the Wastelands, but of course without this rover. So yeah, it was kind of sad to see it go. The big rover, the truck with trailer, and the mobile drilling rig has been submitted to Clang, I guess you can say. And what it did is just pretty much hit the landing gear on the drilling piece of it, the rig, and just flung the whole entire truck into the base and pretty much destroyed the whole thing for the most part. But I don't believe I'm going to rebuild it anytime soon. So what we're going to do is pretty much scrap this project for now and pretty much proceed. One thing I did want to do is add a mod to this series, and that is going to be abandoned settlements, which you will need the modular encounter spawner and the rival AIs along with it. So I added that to the series, so it makes exploring Pertam a little more fun. And also, in terms of settlements being in the surrounding, we could potentially scavenge and salvage parts from those settlements instead of drilling to get, you know, stone, iron, and things like that. But I still probably will end up doing that anyways. But of course, that makes it more interesting to travel around to kind of explore the world, the planet on itself. But first, I think today what we're going to do is actually try to get rid of as much things as possible, move on, and probably find a new home. I kind of don't want to be around this area with all these craters, because again, since this is more of a rover series, it makes it very, very difficult to drive on these craters. So let's just pack things up and get going. So I guess the first thing to do is kind of take this thing off, get rid of the landing gear. It's probably going to drop and kind of make some scraps, but oh wells, that's not entirely terrible. And there goes more things exploding, which is not ideal, of course, but it is what it is. So we're gonna have to try to pack everything up. I'm not sure how I want to do that per se. I think what I do want to do is actually probably make a small rover, a small grid rover or truck addition to the croc here. Why do I want to do that? It's so we can kind of make a small little trailer system on this thing instead, which might be more beneficial for now. We will need to add a lot because each large cargo container holds as much as one small large grid cargo container. So we're probably gonna have to make a few trailer systems on it if we can. And I think that's what we're probably going to be doing. But let's see if I can load this thing up as much as possible in terms of the truck rover that I have here. But one thing I want to see, because there was a great comment to say maybe reduce the torque of the hinge for the front door closing so that it doesn't create that tilt, which it's already doing. And I'm gonna have to turn this off as quickly as possible before I flip it over, and I did. Nope, so reducing the torque does not make a big difference. I was hoping it did, but unfortunately it does not, so that kind of sucks. Alright, so I unflipped it by emptying out the cargo and then use my gyroscopes. Add another gyroscope on top so we can spin it a little bit better. So that kind of fixes it. So yeah, this still hasn't been kind of fixed in a way. So for some reason, when you have too much things in the back, it just tends to flip over. Yep, it's just doing it. I'm not sure why. Let's see if we can change that again. The hinge, it can't be too light, can it? Oh well, it does help, as you saw there. It moved a little bit. Let's see, turn it back on. Nope, it's still doing it regardless. So it does have a weird, awkward thing to it. Don't know if there is a fix for it currently, but I'll just leave it as that. Probably not gonna airtight it. I mean, honestly, there's no reason for me to airtight it because it has no oxygen going through it. So we'll just leave that off. And of course, leaving torque to very low, we can't even bring it back up. So we're gonna have to put that over there. Okay, we'll leave it as that for now. We'll probably find a solution to it sooner or later. But now it's basically, I think we're gonna add a trailer system here. So we might want to do something along the lines of here. So we probably want to extend this piece here. I think that's what we want to do. Or actually, no. Let's make it a little lower. Let's make it here. Right there. Looks like my color scheming a little off here. Actually, no, it's fine. Alright, so I realize I am missing a rover. I'm not sure where my unknown signal rover went. It probably got destroyed somehow. With the truck being destroyed. But I hope that's not the case and it's just hiding somewhere, or unless it rolled off somewhere without having it parked. But it's pretty much gone, so can't really help that. But yeah, so we're just gonna have to move on without it. So we can just put that there. Well, actually that's gonna be in the way of the connector, so we kind of have to put it a little lower. I didn't want to put it too low. Alright, we just leave that there. So we put it this low, which is fairly low to the ground, which is, it's okay. I mean, I didn't want it too close to the ground, but I think it'll be fine. We'll design this a little bit better later on, but we're gonna have to put the I think the rotor's here, right? The rotor system there, and then we need another rotor system pretty much going this way, like that. And then we'll connect a whole new cargo section of it, pretty much a trailer, just like the large one, but in a smaller scale. Hopefully it works out a little bit better than the big one and not blow up. So we're just gonna have to cross our fingers and hope that doesn't happen, right? Well, I guess hopefully I don't close the lid on this thing and have to flip forward again. That's also a big issue that I'm experiencing. Alright, so let's put these together. Alright, perfect. Now we just add this here as the trailer. We don't need it that long. And we just gotta build it down just a tad, because it's supposed to be, I guess the wheelbase is gonna be just this low as well, like the rest. And having a bit of an issue doing this. So what I'm gonna have to do is actually boost up the wheels a bit. So let's just do that and that, and we just create a bit of a, you know, working station here, so we can just climb up this and then work on it at the same time. Alright, so that's good enough. Alright, so now we got it a little bit elevated so we can work on it. There we go. So now we have a bottom piece, and we can make this part as long as we can. But we probably want to add maybe 3 or 4 cargo containers here. So we're gonna use the large ones. So we're gonna use large cargo containers here. So I need a kind of a workstation or area so I can kind of jump up onto it a lot quicker. Gonna be, I guess here is fine. Let's see here. We want to do large container. We can, let's see, we want to do it probably all the large pieces on each side. It looks like, do it this way. Alright. It looks like I'm missing parts for it, so I'm gonna add 3. Connecting together would be ideal, I would think. And you know, that'll be a trailer. I mean, how many cargo containers do we have here? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and for the most part they're kind of full. So I might need to make additional ones there. So I wonder how much I'm gonna need. I probably need, I don't want to make each cargo too big, so we're probably gonna have to do it in a way where it's not too crazy. 1, 2, and 3. I think that'll work. 3 for now here will be ideal. It'll be okay. Yeah, it wouldn't be too bad, I don't think. And actually, these should be actually a little higher to match that. So I might do that. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. So what I'm gonna do first is actually make out this the wheelbase part of it first, because if I don't do that, I probably won't be able to build out the wheels anyway. So let's just make sure we have our wheelbase set up. Here we go. There. Right, so we probably need, looks like from based on this, it needs another layer. So we're gonna do one up here. And actually that gives us the opportunity to put batteries down in the middle. Instead of using a large battery, which we don't need a large battery, or a large, well not large battery, a regular sized battery for a small grid, we can use a small battery for it instead. So we're just gonna have to keep adding these on, and then we'll add on the wheels, I believe would be ideal. And then we'll add the cargo containers on top of the batteries. So we'll probably add a few here. I don't know how much batteries we're gonna need, but do we need a straight line of batteries? Probably not, but it kind of needs to be filled in the inside anyways, right? Right around, oops, that overjumped it. Try that again. Yeah, so here it needs to kind of be filled out anyways, so I don't know if I want to add like too many batteries, but I mean, it would hurt, right? To add the batteries. Maybe we just do fillers. So we just fillers with steel blocks. So we do like a steel block here, put 2, 3, 4, put like that. 1, 2, 3, pretty much 1, 2, 3, pretty much something like that. I think will be okay. And we just put small batteries in the inside here. So where's my batteries? There. Just put a small battery, and I definitely don't think we need too much batteries on this thing, but this will be probably more than enough for it. So we'll just do that instead. And of course we'll leave this one off like this. Then that way we can weld it up and then add the large cargo containers here. So let's just get some oh, actually, you know what? Before we do that, let's add the wheels first. So we gotta add the right side, and we're gonna do 5x5 wheels here. So let's see here. That's the front trailer system. We could probably add it here, which is okay. We'll probably put pistons here to hit the ground. We could probably add, we could probably add just 2 on each side, maybe. I mean, probably more comfortable adding more than that, but I think that's all the space we kind of have. Well, we can do it very close like we have it here, but I think we can live with 2, I think. I mean, I'm gonna go with it and see what happens. If we need more, then we need more, right? So it wouldn't be too bad. Alright, so I'm gonna have to actually add a piston here so we can lift up this piece here. Gonna need more parts. Alright, so that's that. We'll grab the piston. Let's just we probably don't need it to be too high up, so let's just do max distance of 1 for now. Reverse it, and hopefully it works out. Nope, it's not actually doing anything, so we need to do, let's just max it out. There we go. Looks like we're still gonna have issues building the wheels that way, but should be alright. So we build another wheel, it's gonna be back here, so it's gonna look like that. And I guess we could kind of live with that. I mean, it's not terrible. I will live with it. It's fine. If it becomes an issue, it becomes an issue. We can always solve it later. And we can add one. I think, if I can tell correctly, it would be right here. Right? That looks about right. Yep. And this one is right here. And we'll just probably have to add the wheels by going into our controls. Alright, wheels are added. Perfect. So we have our wheels set up. We can drop this piston because we don't need it anymore. Looks like we're full of items. Piston, just like the big truck. We can add it here and add a landing gear. So we'll just kind of mimic that style of it, and We can do two. So one here, and our landing gear will be right underneath it. If I can get to the bottom, right there. That's a little bit too close to the ground than I would want it. So maybe gotta add an extra block or two. So let me add a block here so I can work with this a little better. Alright, so it was a little low, so just in case, I think I'm gonna add it up here instead. Because if it's too low, a little slight bump, it's gonna just make the landing gear lock if it's on auto lock, which I probably will keep on auto lock, maybe not. I already had a bad experience with auto lock, so maybe it would be ideal to not auto lock it. But we'll see. We add that one here. It's a little higher, which is a little better. Also, we avoid destroying it as well, making it a little higher. So we can just leave it there, and I think that looks good. So we can lock it down if we need to lock it down. And it should hold just enough. So now it's just time to weld it down and put on the cargo containers. Alright, so we've expanded our truck with some trailers back here. And I have a cargo container trailer and also a crane looking like trailer. I gotta add the wheel here eventually, but taking some time to do that. And I think what I'm gonna have to do on the next video is actually grind up everything I can. Pretty much take this base down so we can find a new home for us. But today was getting ready to store up everything we need by creating this truck. So it's a quick walkthrough of the truck. So a walkthrough of the truck, basically, we all know the crock is here, and we connected it with this hinge system here. I gotta redesign it a little bit because I made a little boo-boo here, and that is basically the height of it does not match the height of this one. So ideally, you want to have the heights matching so that you can easily connect the main truck to any of these trailers, and you know, it could be in any ways vice versa if we have to, and also attach other ones or more trailers back here by creating such rotors. But yeah, I'm gonna have to figure that out sooner or later. This absolutely drives pretty well, even around these kind of turns. The only biggest problem I have is backing up, which becomes a bit of an issue because it does end up jackknifing a little bit. So meaning it's gonna create like a V shape and a very tight V, and it gets kind of stuck that way. So there's ways to prevent it, but I didn't design it that way for now. But yeah, the second trailer here is our cargo container. It has the pistons to hold it down if we need it to, so we can plug in the rotors correctly. This one should definitely have that as well. I just didn't plug that in just yet. But basically, the trailer here is the cargo container. It has 3 large cargo containers for a small grid. It has connectors on top because that's where we're gonna connect to anything in terms of collection or releasing materials. I was trying to think of doing it in the back, but I would have to eventually make it longer if that is the case. But of course, there's a trailer here, so it's hard to make a connector towards the back. And of course, I have a little block here just so I can make a little step stool for myself. But yeah, in the very back, I put a collector instead of connector right here. So if you drop items here, for an example, let's just drop our motors. It sucks up and it's gonna go into here. So the idea here is basically, I was thinking of creating, especially for this tent here, I was gonna think about taking all the stuff here, create some kind of piston system, and dump everything into that collector instead of connecting it into connectors here. So I mean, it is kind of tedious and kind of pointless, but I thought it looked cooler that way. If I didn't have the connectors on top, it would make a lot more sense, but since I have connected on top, I could just connect it easily and charge it up instead. But I don't know, I feel like dropping it would look cooler to kind of dump in there. I mean, unless I could find a better way to put a connector, maybe on the bottom, if I swap over this large connector, then it makes a lot of sense, where I could deposit stuff on the very bottom instead of the top. Actually, you know what? That sounds like a really good idea. So I might just do that. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do that with this large container right now because the large hole is sticking upwards. So I'm going to probably do that a little bit later down the line. But for now, I'm just going to take these out. See if I can make a connection on the bottom instead. So, I mean, it looks like it's possible, but I would probably have to secure this a little bit better. So I need to like kind of put some blocks around here so it doesn't fall apart while I do it, and I have to get underneath it. So I got to kind of create something for that in that sense. But it was a quick build. I just want to see how well it works out with these trailers, and it works out pretty well, to be honest. So we're going to keep that. We'll put the connector in the bottom soon, and that way we collect from the top and deposit from the bottom. Of course, because we need to find a way to charge this thing also if you have any station docking stations. I have a few ideas for it as well. Alright, so the next piece I have here, the next trailer, again, I made it a little lower in terms of the rotor attachment. Pretty much by mistake in some ways, but this one here is basically going to be my flatbed where I could collect some things that I cannot dismantle, such as batteries. So as you know, my tent is powered by small batteries right here, small grid batteries. I have 3 of them. One of them is actually the respawn pod, as you see there. And what I'm going to do is pretty much crane it up, dump it into my bed in the back here on landing gears. So it kind of like sticks on. I could kind of probably make emerge blocks instead, but that's for later. I'm just going to do this so it could I can just carry 3 blocks that I need to carry, which is 3 batteries for now. So that's what this trailer system is here for. It has 3 pistons going up, 4 pistons going down, 3 going left and right, and a landing gear to pick up stuff. The biggest problem I have is trying to weld up these piston heads. For some reason, it's really difficult to do. So especially if you put them all together first. So that's gonna be what it is for now. But I mean, all in all, this thing drives pretty well. I'm not sure if you can see in the time lapse, but if I hop in here and if if I unpark, of course, and drive it around, it works out pretty well. And there's a lot of craters here, so there's a bit of a maneuvering to do. So as you see here, I'm moving it a bit, and it's doing pretty well as it stands. It kind of wobbles a little bit, but actually, you know what? This gives me an opportunity to kind of put the wheels on here. So if I can maneuver this to the left, and I'm not sure why I'm falling right into that hole. Oh, I think it's lifted now. So let's see if we can add a wheel now. Hope that worked. Yep, perfect. I added the wheel. So now I can weld this up and give it a wheel. Looks like I'm missing a large steel tube, so I'm gonna have to grab that. And pretty much have to grind down the system and then load up the trucks with as much as I can. I probably don't have enough space to load up every single thing, but with this flatbed in the back, I could technically put some more cargo containers freely there. But as I mentioned before, if I did, maybe not. I can't remember. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, actually 6 cargo containers versus my 5. So, and in terms of the carrying weight, it's about the same. You have right here 15,000 liters, I would think the L stands for. And here with the large cargo container, it's also 15,000 as well. So I have 5 on my rover here, my truck, and there's 6 here. So there's a bit of a difference there. So if I had to add another one, I'll probably add another trailer, to be honest. Even better would be a grinding system that's kind of connected. If I can build that on here that easily grinds things up, even better. But I'm not making ships, ships, only making rovers. So grinding is still going to be a little difficult. I do need to probably create that keyboard and mouse controlled grinding system or crane system for it. I'll probably have to do it for this one too. I think it'll be ideal. So it makes it a lot easier to control. And instead of having to manually move left and right the rotor and pistons forward and backwards. Honestly, I didn't even take the time to name everything, so I don't know what everything is so far and at this very moment. But eventually I will have to name everything. But for now, it's a decent truck with 2 trailers attached, and it does move pretty well, as I mentioned before. And backing up, as you see here, it jackknifes a little bit, so it gets kind of stuck. That's the biggest problem I'm running into. But for the most part, other than that, it works out pretty well. So once you get unstuck, I mean, as you see here, it spins pretty good. I should probably add, I don't know, 4 wheels for the cargo containing truck. Might not be ideal, but it looks like it was going to hold. So I may have to change some things around. But as I mentioned, it was a quick build. So I just want to build something really quickly so I can kind of get out of here. So right now, I'll probably have to do a few things off camera. And that's pretty much grind up everything in sight. Especially this large truck, which probably has a lot of material. Put it in this truck here and drive away. So the idea here, in terms of finding a new home, is not to be around any of these craters. I was planning to go explore and find a new spot with my rover, but I seem to be missing a rover somewhere. I don't know where it went. I could use this if I wanted to, but not completely ideal. I think what I want to do is actually get close to the crevice. I'm going to drive forward that way and then kind of build a new station there. Probably instead of a tent, probably make actual house-like building, and then next to it will be a factory, a garage, everything for my rovers. And since I'm next to the crevice, the idea here is to make that bridge across so we can finally make it to the UVSR station. So that's pretty much the plan. Right now it's just gonna be a tedious action of pretty much grinding down everything I can so I can save on materials and try to transport everything as much as possible. I kind of don't want to go make a trip back and forth because it's quite far to go that way and then come back. So hopefully I don't need to do that, but we'll see in that way. So yeah, Right now, I'll probably get started, like have some like random things that are everywhere. So you have a wheel here for some reason. I guess it rolled away at some point, but you got like large steel tubes on that, so that's useful materials. My cobalt and iron station, that's all the way back there, as you see there, still has a cargo container filled with stone, so we still kind of can use that if we can collect that. Probably would have to run that at a separate time. But for now, I mean, we can probably grind up this thing here, which is the mobile drilling station that kind of caused all this craziness. But as you see here, it's going to be a bit of a grind. A vehicle that, if I could make a rover that does the grinding, maybe even better. But I might have to do this by hand for now, because even with a vehicle grinder, it's a little more difficult to use. Unless it's a big one, which I could just like pretty much eat up everything or swallow the whole entire thing with the grinders. But it's still a little dangerous, because it is going to end up pretty much maybe spitting some blocks around and probably breaking something also. So here's another example of an item here that I shouldn't break down, because I'm going to waste the power cells. Although putting it in here might not actually be ideal either, because it's a large grid versus a small grid. So I mean, we're going to give it a try no matter what. But it looks like we will have to make some back and forth traveling at one point or another just to collect everything. But unfortunately, as you see here, this was the big red truck that got pretty much destroyed, and it pretty much dug its own grave, to be honest. That's what it looks like. The front of the truck, which was the main part, it's completely gone because it flung up over there. But the trailer and cargo side still here, and of course there's some batteries here that I can still collect, which is ideal. So for these things, or for this one, maybe we can leave it here for a while until we're desperate for a battery, which I don't think we are desperate for a battery. I think we have more than enough materials, especially we have like cobalt and everything like that too. And if we ever needed materials, we can just make a quick drilling station to collect stone, and that pretty much fulfills everything we need anyways. And of course, we have the mod that we installed just before, so we can always search for settlements to get materials down instead. So there's that. So I'm hoping to travel to the crevice, run into a settlement, and see how that works. I haven't played around with it whatsoever, so it's going to be very new to me. And I hope it's going to be an exciting thing for me to play around with and also share with you guys at the same time. Alright, so it's definitely quite a struggle to build vehicles like this, especially the crane, without a jetpack. So it's been really fun playing in the wastelands without the jetpack, or playing Space Engineers without the jetpack. This is my first time playing without the jetpack. So it adds a bit of a challenge, which is awesome. It is very difficult to do certain things, and it takes a lot of time. But for the most part, it's been really fun, and I know there's a lot more mods out there that makes things even better. I think something like daily needs is another fun aspect of surviving. I might look into that and play around with it. I might not actually go blind and play a series with it, because I might need to learn how to use it beforehand. Unless you guys tell me otherwise, and it actually would be funner to actually just play the daily needs mod without having to learn how it works, and if it's like easy to get used to. But of course, leave a comment below, let me know how daily needs, how difficult it can be to like the learning curve of it, or should I just play it, share it, and record it, or should I just give it a shot first beforehand just to get used to the mechanics of it. Alright, so we have another spare wheel that's lying around, and we're just gonna collect everything else from here on. Right. So yeah, it's gonna be a long crawl of doing a not welding, a grinding of everything, and then load up the truck. So I might do that off camera. Maybe I do a quick time lapse of it, so that way it looks pretty cool. But I have a lot of good ideas for the next project, which is the new base. So we're gonna have to kind of wait and see. First, find a spot first. Really, see where's that wheel that I left. Okay. First find a new home, build a nice little house for myself, an actual house, so I can, like, you know, rest there, sleep there, relax there, talk to you guys if necessary, and I'll make the factory next to it, which is gonna have like everything, the power, refineries. Looks like my refinery is damaged from the truck that was flung over here. And then also a large garage, because of course we're gonna have a ton of rovers that we're gonna make. And I don't know what happened to the yellow one that I had that collected unknown signals, but I'll probably remake that in a better way. So as you see here, this was the big red truck's front piece. This is the truck itself. It looks like it lost a lot of different parts. It just got large. I lost all the wheels basically. Maybe all those wheels I just collected was actually part of it, but it lost a lot of wheels. Pretty much lost everything on that thing. It's crazy. It also ate up a little bit of my power here. Luckily, it didn't knock it all off, because that would have been bad, of course. But I kind of got lucky in some ways that it didn't destroy a lot of things. But at the same time, it is quite sad to see this thing go. I did remake it in the workshop, build a video, so you guys can play around with it. It's just it was a form of it that I was thinking. This one was so that at least you can see the final product of what how it works and everything like that, and also play around with it instead of like keeping it here and not doing anything. Maybe I want to keep it here as a historical land point, like a historical point in the series where this thing got destroyed. So maybe I'll leave this here, maybe not, I don't know. I might need the materials, so we're gonna have to think about it. And again, there's a lot of scraps everywhere. That's always fun. But yeah, we're gonna have to find a new home in the next video, I guess, and pretty much scrap out everything as much as I can, at least. If I can't carry anything, I probably have to return back, but we should be okay for the most part. Alright, so the truck works out pretty well. I'm slowly filling it up with as much as I can. Once it gets completely filled, we might struggle a little bit with driving, but we'll see how that's gonna work out. With all this trailer attached, I'm kind of curious. Can I finally close this hatch door? It has the counterbalance of the weight, of course, and all this stuff in the back that's kind of holding it down. But you see, you still want to dip down a little bit. But we'll leave it off because we definitely don't want this thing to roll over again. But it seems okay. All right, so maybe we'll leave this here. We'll just try to drive this a little bit. I was thinking, in order to fix this whole jackknifing issue, maybe have the rear have some power to kind of drive backwards. So basically have a cockpit back here so I can drive it forward, but it's really backwards. So pull the rest of it to even it out. I mean, we could kind of do that. Seems a little cheesy, but I mean, that's a decent way of getting around this situation where I'm trying to get to a specific spot without hitting these craters so that we can easily collect stuff to start progressing with or moving away. So, I mean, that wasn't too bad, but it is causing some issues where I can't even turn because my wheel's not touching. But yeah. Alright, so I think I'm gonna park this guy in front and start taking apart the stuff here from this base rather than from the truck. The truck I might come back for eventually, but you know, we can always, the more important stuff is in this tent, to be honest. So that's the thing, right? We want that more than the truck itself. Stuff in the truck is a lot of materials, yes, but I think for the most part it is more steel plates than anything else. And I have a running away truck because I did not park it. Alright, so we can easily move this. I want to move it towards that spot here, so that way I can line up a piston to drop in that collector right there. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna back up a little bit because I want to be more on a smoother spot just in case. We'll leave it here for now. We'll have to figure out soon how we're gonna do this, because if this breaks, my truck's gonna get stuck, and that may or may not happen. I don't know. I mean, I always tend to have like the worst luck in playing Space Engineers and weird things do happen. So I'm gonna try to stay off of that just in case. Alright, so as always, if you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. Feel free to leave us some comments. And of course, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.